What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be looking at a PvZ Protoss versus Zerg between the players Killer MVP and SC2 Squirtle. So yes, Squirtle versus Killer MVP, also known as Sniper. Killer MVP is actually an alternate ID for him. I'll probably be referring to him as Killer in this matchup, but yeah, Sniper is kind of the name that he's actually known by. And with that said, let's actually go ahead and take a look at some player information for these two. Starting over here in the lower left-hand spawn position with SC2 Squirtle, I'm going to head on over to Wikipedia, and we have got second place on IGN Pro League Season number 4 for Squirtle. This was in April of 2012, and then in May of 2012 we took second place at the Global StarCraft 2 League Season 2. So GSL Season 2 took second place there. Again, that was in May of this year. His opponent over here in the upper left-hand spawn position, known by the ID Sniper, but again, I'll be calling him Killer in this game just because, well, that's his it's his alternative ID, so that's his name here, and that's what I'm going to call him. Anyways, yes, Sniper or Killer, however you want to refer to him as. I got some GSL placement information for GSL Season 2 this year, 2012. He is in Code A, has defeated Avenge 2-0, Curious 2-0, Bomber 2-1, and that earned him a spot in GSL Season 3 Code S Group E, where he will be facing off Supernova in his first match. So there's some information there between those two players. Let's go ahead and jump right into the game. We have got some early game scouting and or harass going on here by Squirtle as he moves towards that natural expansion for Killer, and will be attempting to delay it here as he dances around with that probe and just gets in the way of the placement of the hatchery. Let's see if he decides to drop a pylon down as well, or if he'll just dance around here again, cutting the edge there, stopping that hatchery from getting placed down. Killer is finally able to get that, though. Spawning pool also now finishing. We should be seeing at least 2 Zerglings, potentially 4. Or is he going to go with none? Goes with none. And you know, the thing is here for Squirtle, though, is he does not know what is coming through those eggs. So even though they were just drones, he could have very well assumed that those were Zerglings, and that's why he pushed back. So you can see instead their Killer delaying those Zerglings, droning up first and then getting lings after the fact. But it still served its purpose. The purpose of building those lings is to get rid of that probe. The one thing that he doesn't have, though, is eyes on where that probe is at the moment. So we could very well see Squirtle hide this probe and push in with some secondary scouts, and we're actually going to see a Killer attempt to find out what's going on here at the same time as he takes a third and fanning out with those lings. Now he has, of course, scouted this expansion with his Overlord here, so Killer is fully aware of the Forge Fast expand, and that's what informed his decision to take this third base. Otherwise he very well wouldn't have, and was able to catch the probe. Very good there by Killer, enabling him to chase it down and might even actually get the kill. Gets the kill. That is pretty big early on. The biggest thing is it delays that secondary scout here for Squirtle in spotting this third base here. So he may move out with a Zealot, although it looks like that is not happening. So might just wait until this finishes, gets a Stalker out, and then might push out to scout the third with that, which will be just fine because we will not see Speedlings in play at that point. Just nowhere near being ready for that, as Killer is still... Every time I say Killer, I want to call him Sniper. I mean, I'm sorry if that bugs you guys too, but I mean, hey man, you're playing on the ID Killer MVP. That's what I'm going to call you by. You know, Speedling's now breaking down the destructible rocks here, as Killer does want an avenue into his third, and that is actually just about finished. Working on saturating all of these bases. Again, just droning up very hard, and ooh, let's pay attention over here as Squirtle coming out with a Stargate. Does have a Stalker now chrono boosting through here. That will be his first actually offensive unit. And we'll use this to get rid of the Overlord. It's pushing in for secondary scouts. However, another Overlord over here enables Killer to spot the Stargate building there, and with that, I very much so expect to see at least one more Queen, at the very least. Maybe even 2 or 3 more Queens. Getting those extra Queens really helps deal with that air harass, be it Void Rays or Phoenixes, whatever it is. Now it is Void Rays, that is what we are seeing here from Squirtle, but I'm not entirely sure that Killer has scouted out what was building in there. I just know that he scouted out that there was something coming through. So we do have one more queen in production right now. He will be spotting for sure that it is an opening of a Void Ray right at this moment. That's going to kill off this Overlord and put him into a supply block again. We get 2 Overlords in production though to try to alleviate that as soon as possible. Got a Spore coming down, a couple of Spores coming down. One of them in the main. Yeah, there's one in the main. And here we go as the Void Ray moves out. I don't see any other air units though, as Squirtle has decided to hold off on that, so just opening up here with this one Void Ray. And this is kind of exactly what he's hoping for. You can see 4 Spores in production. Squirtle kind of hoping for an overreaction from MVP, from Killer here. Which is probably potentially why, actually, now that I think of it, Killer didn't make more than 1 queen, because he's worried about overreacting. You dump so many resources and there's not even any follow-up. And I spoke too soon, I suppose, because we do actually have, at the very least, 1 Phoenix coming through now. Robotics facility also coming out. Squirtle working his way through these destructible rocks, allowing an avenue into his 3rd base, and we should probably be seeing a wall off over here as well. And the Speedling's actually going to scout this out right now. Scouts the destruction of those rocks. So now he knows that an expansion is coming over in this position. Void Ray has 2 kills, both of which I believe are Overlords, and the Zergling fully scouts us all. Wow, what the heck is going on with Squirtle's units just chilling out next to the Ling. Finally takes it out. Phoenix over here hasn't gotten any kills yet. The Overlord's tucked nice and safely here next to these Spores and the Queen. Just a Void Ray and a Phoenix. Twilight Council coming out. A bunch of gateways being built. 3 of them right here for the wall off, being supported by the cannon and some sentries. How is he going to bust through here? Probably going to kill off this pylon when he eventually wants to move out. Level 1 weapon upgrade going through. Phoenix is trying to scout the edge of the base there. Look for those Overlords. Looks like they are all situated right here though. And a macro hatch also coming out. Now we do have layer tech in play. Infestation pit coming through. And a level 1 ranged attack as well as the Glau reconstitution, and another base coming out for MVP, for Killer over here. Keep calling him MVP. What the heck's going on? Get this guy's name straight. He's gonna take some Void Ray fire over here at his 4th base. Speedling scouts pushing forward. Just I think wants to spot when Squirtle eventually moves out, which he still hasn't done yet. Looks like he might be preparing to do so right now. Breaking down the pylon, unpowering his Stargate in the process. Now prepares to move out. Level 1 weapons done, level 2 coming through. Void Ray actually forced a cancel of this expansion over here, forcing MVP to replace it. Void Ray actually almost died as well as the Queen Fire. Able to quickly do a bunch of damage there. We get some roaches in play now as well. Hive Tech coming through. And do we have any festers in yet? No, we do not. No, we do have an infestation pit. It's going to allow him to work up into 2/2 upgrades, but he hadn't even finished these 1/1s yet. He does have the 1 range, but you can see he's not getting the level 2 range right now. So I wonder what that... Oh, of course, yes, I'm being silly right now. Infestation pit is, of course, for the Hive Tech. You need that to get this, so... Squirtle still scouting out with this Phoenix. The fact that this thing is still alive, it's unreal. Queen tries to take care of that, very close. However, not able to get it. Alright, so we got 3 base Protoss right now versus what is soon to be 4 base Zerg. And with all this macro going on, so many upgrades. There we go, we got some Infestor stuff coming through. Neural Parasites getting researched. Some Infestors coming into play. Speedling's moving down, scouts out the force here of Squirtle. And Killer now working down these rocks here. We do have Greater Spire coming out, which will allow for those Broodlords. And for Squirtle, he's got 2 weapons with level 3 weapons coming through. Sonic Storm being researched. He does have the Blink research for the Stalkers. That Void Ray still chilling out. An observer scouting over here. Scouts the force, sees Infestors, Roaches, and Speedlings, and that is exactly what Killer has. And here we go, finally about to see some more action here. We got a Void Ray engaging in this position. Now the Infestors can deal with that. Some fungal growth action, plus some infested Terrans. But at the same time, we got this War Prism over here. So we do want to keep an eye on that. Just a multi-pronged attack and also moving across the middle with the Observer, allowing him to take out some of that creep. Void right now with 11 kills, continue to do some damage over here. And there's that War Prism. Now going to join the main army. All that creep spread laid to waste here. Nice fungal. She's doing a bit of damage to those sentries. And with the War Prism, able to get some guys in the front of the battlefield here. Observer chilling out by the Overseer. They're like, hey, I see you. Gonna make his push towards the 4th right now. Fleet Beacon coming out as well. That's interesting. There we go. Pushing forward. It's not looking too good here for MVP. Gonna be hard for him to push on this army with all those force fields. And he's gonna take a loss here unless he was able to wrap around the backside. But no, this hatch is a goner. Bailing's trying to stay out of that. Stormfire. Not. Boy, he's low on energy for those force fields. Let's see if Speelings and Roaches are able to catch up here. Oh, so much storm damage. Holy hell. So much storm damage against those Speelings and Bailings. A couple Speelings wrapping around the backside, which is exactly what he needs to do. We got a few Zealots coming through. Nice Neural Parasite, grabbing the Immortal, allowing him to do some damage with that. Just enough to force a lift off though, and the retreat here by Squirtle, and Squirtle now with the Immortals pushing forward. Looks like, yes, well, we saw him take out that expansion, so I don't know why I'm surprised about that. We did see him take out that expansion with this push, and he's going to move down with these Zealots, try to do some damage. However, here comes the reinforcements. Gonna get a fungal? No, just place it down infested Terrans. Why didn't you fungal too? Not have enough energy? Yeah. Not enough energy to get that fungal through. Alright, let's keep an eye here on both players' vision. Want to see Squirtle. That's definitely going to come into play. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like a drop over here or something. Here comes the Mothership. Oh yeah, buddy. Right over here, being built in the main. Mothership coming through. 3/4 of the way done. And things are going to get real once that happens. Corruptors. Able to spot it finally. Going to be able to take it out, of course. We're going to see those Zealots drop down, try to do some damage. And oh no, you missed it. There you go. Able to get that. Zealots will be taken care of. Able to save that queen. God save the queen. Get a Phoenix scouting out MVP's expansion over here. This will be base number 5. 4 now back up and running. And we got some creep spread over here by this Overlord, allowing Killer or Sniper, whatever we want to call him, to scout out this 5th base that is coming up. The 4th, nice and protected by these cannons. Also has a High Templar station there. So far, taking a look at the resources lost, they are about even. I want to take a look at the worker kills. Not that many. Squirtle able to pull off 7. Now we do finally have some Broodlords coming through. Scouting Speelings get taken out. A couple of them still left. Another War Prism moving across the map. And looks like Squirtle is content with this Gateway army. Now, of course, let us not forget that a Mothership is in play now. And that is going to be annoying to deal with. Motherships are not fun. Unless, of course, you're the Protoss player. The thing with them, though, is that they're so very slow. And, you know, if you want to protect your army with them, you really have to move with a Mothership. And, of course, that's makes you moving nice and slow. Ton of spines getting uprooted, going to push forward as he has continued to spread this creep. And now putting it in an offensive position. Look at the spine placement here. That's going to be placed down in just a moment. Now here come the Broodlords, keeping them above this type of ground here. Makes it so that the Stalkers can't blink right under them. Does he even know yet about the Mothership action? I'm not sure that he does. We got some Zealots getting warped in over here from that War Prism, taking out base number 5. Let's see what Killer's able to do. He's actually assailing this expansion right now. And I've forced all those workers to pull back over there. We got some Speelings, Banelings, and Roaches moving towards that position. Squirtle still just waiting for the right time to engage here with this army. Zealots now moving to this expansion. And if Killer doesn't do something about this, oh no. He's gonna lose this one too. Are you serious? That is really rough. Stalker's blinking under some of those Broodlords, able to get some kills, and now trying to push towards those spines. But look at this, just a few Zealots able to take out 2 bases. Really shocked that Killer let that happen. Didn't pull off any forces to deal with it. I mean, he's got idle Spielings right here. Just throwing back Spielings, of course, would have been the quickest response, and I can't believe that. He just lost 2 bases. And Squirtle still has this Nexus safe here, so he hasn't lost one yet. Now we got actually Spielings over here, able to do some damage. Did they kill off a bunch of workers? Yes, they did. Killer killing off 33 workers now. As with that small Spieling counterattack, able to do some significant damage, which is pretty much exactly what he needed to do, because that was a very painful loss here. Few Corruptors going to take out this War Prism. And I think that that is going to be... I think that's his only one right now. No, he's got 2 War Prisms, so he's got another one somewhere. Where, though? Here it is. Another War Prism coming out here for Squirtle. Still have that offensive spine placement and positioning here for Killer. Just so long as he can now try to defend himself. Should be... Oh, shoot that. Shoot that thing. There you go. We'll be able to kill it now. And Corruptor's now moving from the other side. And it's a good, this is kind of dual purpose here because he actually needs the Corruptors as well to deal with the Mothership. Got Roaches now trying to break down these rocks here. Squirtle doing what he can to defend this base. Still got this one pretty weakened. So if we see another push there, might be able to see Killer take that out. And now Squirtle looking to try to circumvent the army over here and just kind of dancing around in this position. Let's take a quick look at his vision. Nothing else moving out. He does have this one observer, but that's it. Lots of Broodlords here. My gosh. So many. Lots of Archons to try to deal with it, and if we see an Archon toilet, that could be a travesty for all those Broodlords. So he has to be incredibly careful in terms of positioning of his army and trying to keep things spread out so he doesn't get sucked up into that vortex and then take all that splash damage from those Archons for a quick defeat of his entire army, essentially. That's a real danger with that Mothership and all these Archons, is that Archon toilet. Such a strange name, huh? I guess it's kind of a Flushing thing, so there you go. Here comes the push now. Killer making his way towards this expansion. And how is Squirtle going to respond? That's the question. He's going to try to push the backside. What is he going to do? Lots of Broodlings doing some damage over there. Again, love the positioning here. This is perfect for Killer. Going to continue to dance around, and he does take out this expansion very quickly. You can see how quick that drops there. Keep in mind, too, that these Broodlings, they get upgrades based on the ground unit upgrades, not the air upgrades. It's the initial hit that is affected by this this air attack, but when they're on the ground and they're attacking, kind of like mini Spielings, whatever you want to call them. There is the first Vortex. He's got enough energy for another one. Luckily there for Killer, able to stay away from that. So it didn't really take too much damage. We're going to see a couple of those Archons push in there, and once it pops, Stalker's blinking underneath, and here come the Corruptors moving forward, and he is going to take it out. Oh no! Pulls back. Almost able to take that out. Yeah, he should be able to get it right now, though. Look at this. I don't know why Squirtle moved so far forward with that. That is awful that he moved that close. And now with this beautiful spread of Broodlords, I think Killer's all set here. Got 5 carriers coming out, though. Didn't see that coming. I mean, he's got the fleet beacon, so why not? Game's definitely not over with all those coming out. This is probably not enough Corruptors to deal with that. A couple Storms going down, trying to get those Broodlords while they're clumped up. Not looking good for this expansion, though. See him continue to push forward. Just those Broodlings when they're on the ground, they're so hard to deal with. Not able to get underneath those Broodlords because of just how many Spielings, and we got the Festers over here, and this expansion is a goner. See you later. A little counterattack right now of Stalkers moving to this expansion. Let's see if Killer's able to deal with this a little bit better than the last small hit that he took. It was actually a big hit that he took from a small group of Zealots. So should be able to deal with this now. Got enough Spielings over there. Hopefully all set. Pulling back also with those Brew Lords. Now, we do have, again, lots of carriers coming through. I mean, he's just going all-out carrier right now. And we'll have to see how exactly Killer's able to deal with this. In play right now, we've got 5. We've got 5 in production. That's craziness, guys. Oh, he's tucking them away, too, in a nice, safe position. And I still am not certain that that Killer knows about this. I don't think he knows that all these carriers are coming through. Now, of course, he can take them out with the Corruptors, and with those Infestors, he can grab them with the Neuroparasite. Alright, so now moving forward to defend here with his carriers, which right now Killer will just be finding out about, responding by coming out with a few Infestors. So many carriers, it's hilarious. Now, since they're already here, what we're going to see likely is Killer continue to just push forward with what few Brood Lords he has left and just try to take out this expansion, realizing that he can't deal with that, not going to be able to really get away from that either. Lots of infested Terrans in play, though. Can't believe there's still so many Brood Lords around. Is he not target firing down? There we go. So yeah, those Brood Lords are dead. And really nothing he can do about it at the moment. We've got 17 Corruptors coming through. Let's take a look at the vision here. Anything else going on at the moment? No, nothing really.
Mineral field depleted.
Some changelings getting dropped down. Alright, so Carrier's now moving out. And is he going to just wait for the rest of his fleet here? What I was wondering is, where are all of those starports? There we go. Right over here. There's 4 over here. He's got an idle carrier, which is no bueno. Now, we do have a ton of Corruptors that came through, and also supplementing his army with some Speedlings. Obviously wants some sort of a ground army to try to do damage to the buildings. And going to kill off some workers remote mining right now over here. Carrier's a bit slow. Here come the Corruptors now. He has to target fire. There's a fungal, allowing those Corruptors to get up. Corruption goes down. Lots of storms, but those Corruptors are so durable. Not really that effective. He's going to continue to push forward. Here comes some infested Terrans, which also need to be used to try to target fire some of these guys down. And the carrier army gets smaller and smaller. Speedling's now pushing up towards that 3rd base. More Corruptors. We got some more Corruptors in production. And it's not looking good for Squirtle, my friends. We also have these expansions up and running for Killer, which is the real issue right now for Squirtle, is that he's got no income, and there it is. There's the GG as a result. Alright guys, that does it in this game between Squirtle and Killer and or Sniper. Wonder how many people are going to be mad that I called him Killer all game. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe, and as always, keep watching and keep owning. This was a fun game.